So of course, this week was the week where Trump came into power. What are young people's perspectives on that? Because undoubtedly, regardless of whether you're a Trump supporter or not, Trump has changed the political landscape, even in the UK. It's got people thinking, it's got people questioning narratives and ideas. There's so many questions regarding the legitimacy of his claims, whether he is a force for good or a force for bad. But I was curious this week to go and ask some young people that basic question. What do you think about Donald Trump?
He's a nice man. I think he'll get the job done, 100%. He's a very straightforward man. Have the right team. I believe he'll get the job done. I believe the UK should learn from Trump. This coming administration, it will be his best, and I believe he'll give America his very best. We need to see a bit of Trump in the UK, I think, 100%.
So you think we need a bit of Trump in the UK?
Yeah, 100%. His policies will make sense in the UK. Not all, but some of them.
Do you know who the World Health Organization is?
Yeah, WHO.
Yeah. What do you think of them?
Yeah, WHO, they give support to different countries, but the policies are not really working in Africa, where I come from, because they give the support to the wrong people. So I think something needs to be done about that. But I think they're a nice body to the world. They give the whole world support when due. So I believe they're doing a great job as well.
Today, Trump actually withdrew America out of the World Health Organization based on the fact that they are pretty corrupt.
So Donald Trump, I actually was watching the live inauguration speech that he did. You know what? He pointed out a lot of words that were kind of resonating to me. He knows what he's doing. But that's a bit scary itself.
I had a girl earlier, she was my age, who said that Trump is just an outright racist. What do you think about that?
He could be, but I feel like that's not his personality. I could be a Trump supporter, but I've been following the American politics for a while. And I'm scared, but at the same time, I'm optimistic.
He's a bit much.
Do you think he's racist? That's what young people keep telling me.
I think he's racist. I think he can be. I think some of the things he says are borderline, but some of the things he says are quite true. If none of the black people wanted him in, he wouldn't be in.
Now, regularly, it's my generation that pin the title of a racist on Trump. And where do they get this from? Well, usually it's the mainstream media. Trump, I don't think, is a racist, but yeah, he may have said some things in the past, but what I try and impress upon young people is if I was to record your entire life and then take some small sound bites from what you have said to your friends, especially young men talking to each other, I can guarantee I'd be able to make them out to be a bad person or a racist person. As we can see, these young people, they don't think that. They are not thinking Trump is a racist. They may have questions, as I say, about his motivations and the way that he has approached his presidency, but regardless of what the mainstream media have attempted to do in terms of slandering his name, it seems they have failed. More people in the UK seem to be envious of what America currently has. And in comparison to what we got in the UK, it looks like a step in the right direction. However, we should always stay skeptical. We should always question what's going on. There is no saviour. There is no one there that is going to morph the correct future for our country or any other country. We still need to take direct responsibility as individuals and as people. If we offload all sense of responsibility to one person, you can guarantee that person is going to have faults. So we must always hold whoever's in charge to account. Now, you could say in the UK we have the Trump equivalent, Farage. Again, regardless of what you think about Farage, it's got young people thinking. It's got young people questioning Labour, Conservative and looking in a different direction. Now, I'm not necessarily an advocate for reform, nor am I necessarily an advocate for Trump, but again, I impress upon the direction of travel of which people are heading. You see, someone like myself really does question things down to the bone. Every single time something happens, I am asking the biggest questions, the most serious questions. What are their motivations? Are there things being hidden by the media? Or are they lying? Or do they have a disturbing ulterior motive? But for the general public, for most people, just on the face of it, they obviously aren't thinking to that extent. Not everybody wants to dig as deep as maybe myself and other people do. So I would say that it's got young people thinking in possibly the right direction. You see, Trump has talked about how there is only two genders. Now that for young people is an incredibly controversial topic. It's something that young people are massively against, this woke mindset that there are multiple genders and you can identify as whatever you want. And yet Trump has come forward and said, no, that's not the case. Trump, in his campaigning, managed to completely avoid the mainstream media in terms of using that as a platform to promote his point. Instead, he relied on other people, podcasts, Joe Rogan, for example. And that got young people entrenched and enhanced in a different political direction. Now over in the UK, it's almost like we are 4 or 5 years behind whatever is happening in America. And I think it's important that we watch the political landscape at the moment, especially in the UK. Young people definitely have a complete lack of interest in UK politics, but have found a profound interest in American politics. So you have to ask yourself why. Trump is entertaining, Trump is interesting, Trump is a likeable character for young people despite his age. So we need something like that in the UK. Again, no, Trump may not be the saviour, the answer. And I'm not saying there's an individual currently in the UK who is the saviour, who is the answer to fixing all of our really dystopian issues. But it's certainly not Keir Starmer, or from what I can tell, any other politically mainstream character. I get the impression that in the UK, we have nothing in politics or nothing established outside of politics which actually inspires young people to want to have an interest in forging a better future for their country. And this is why I impress upon young people all the time that it's got to be us with our opinions, using things like social media, making sure we're questioning things in education all the time, looking for better answers and scrutinising those who are claiming to be the one who is going to take our country in the right direction. So what do you think? Do you like Trump? Do you think he's got bad motivations? Do you think he's maybe got some nefarious agenda, something that goes maybe deeper than just surface level politics? Or do you think he is going to have such influence over politics in the UK that it could shift our country in the right direction? Who knows? It's going to be very interesting to watch and study American politics to see if Trump keeps to certain promises. Trump has just removed America from the World Health Organization. That is a massive deal. To be removed from the World Health Organization is to reject their global narrative to try and influence pandemic control and medical practices across the West. So it does make you think. That is pretty cool. I mean, that is a massive shift in the right direction for what I perceive as the right direction. On the other hand, there is now speculation about new mRNA vaccines.
You can then vaccinate the person, design a vaccine for every individual person to vaccinate them against that cancer. And you can make that vaccine, that mRNA vaccine, you can make that robotically, again using AI, in about 48 hours. So imagine early cancer detection, the development of a cancer vaccine for your particular cancer aimed at you, and have that vaccine available in 48 hours. This is the promise of AI and the promise of the future.
And as we know, that Trump did bring forward Operation Warp Speed, which got America vaccinated very, very quickly. He didn't look at the opposing science and he rolled out a jab which has harmed many, many people. So there's definitely questions there. But we should not be looking for a messiah. Nobody is absolutely perfect and we should be balancing and questioning things in the most rational way possible. This is the response young people should certainly be having. This is the response I've had. As a 19-year-old, I question absolutely everything. But I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and I do think there's always a balanced debate to be had. I would love to sit with President Trump and ask him these core questions. Why did you roll the jab out? Why didn't you fight back against lockdown? Why aren't you directly challenging institutions like the World Economic Forum as well as the World Health Organization? But as I say, of course, it's early days. So let's watch and study America as much as we can in the coming weeks and see if that kind of optimistic tone that we keep hearing about is going to come over to the UK. Leave a comment, engage, and let me know as a young person, what do you think about Trump? Do you think that he is going to be the answer to solving many of our Western issues? Or do you think there could be something else at play here? Or do you think he has no way of influencing British politics? I would love to know your feedback. I'd love to know your answer. And if you want to see more content like this, you can head over to UK Column's website and you can sign up today for either a small monthly cost, a yearly cost, or you can become a lifetime member as well. UK Column triumphs independent journalism and makes sure they question everything right down to the nitty-gritty. So if you want to support good quality journalism that is not afraid to ask the scary questions, journalism that is not afraid to ask the scary questions, the questions that nobody else wants to ask, then sign up to UK Column today. Thank you.